Excellent, excellent. So it's 12:03. We'll kind of get kicked off here. Um, doo, doo, doo. If you haven't cut, well, actually, if you can do one thing for me, put a one in the chat. If this is your first time, put a two in the chat if you've attended our masterclass before. I think this is session 11, right, Dean? 12?
11.
11. Not a first time. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Got some returners, which is great too. Hopefully that means you're getting value, so that's great. Um, Yeah, it looks like a good amount of almost 50-50 it seems like. So that's great. Means you're getting value if you're taking Friday midday or Friday afternoon to come check us out. So this one's gonna be a good one. AI, everyone loves AI, AI, AI. Um, so I think we're gonna have some really good stuff, AI use cases today, so that'll be fun. Dean put in a couple links in here um, that are helpful. I just kind of put them back in there as well. NetSuite Made Easy group is in there. And did you put the NetSuite Made Easy? I don't think you did. Did you? Yes.
Yep.
Second link. There's two links in there. NetSuite Made Easy is the second one. The first one is connecting with Dean. Um, that's the NetSuite Made Easy group. And I'll put mine in there as well. If he wants to connect. We both give tips and tricks on NetSuite as well, but that NetSuite Made Easy group is a good one. So good. Confidentiality notice, obviously, keep everything confidential. And I'll hand it over to Dean.
Thanks, Charles. Thanks, everybody, for joining on a Friday. Yeah, we're excited for this class. Like Charles said, we've been doing this, I can't believe, for almost a year now. And every class, we always think this one's going to be the most exciting one. So hopefully, you'll find the content here somewhat informative and insightful. Our objective when we do this, right, is we help a lot of people. Obviously, we're the largest NetSuite, exclusive NetSuite provider in North America. So we've seen a lot of things in NetSuite. We've helped a lot of users and businesses, but there's some common challenges that we typically see, right? So lack of training, lack of knowledge about saved searches and how to take advantage of that reporting, really taking use of automation, whether that's using some workflows or scripting and things like that, taking advantage of custom records and fields. And, there's a lot in NetSuite, and I feel like a lot of people usually don't really scratch the surface. They spend a lot of time to get implemented and go live, and then they just kind of stop or get stagnant. So our goal is to try to show people how to get the most out of it. And the most common saying that we hear on a daily basis is, "I don't know what I don't know," which makes sense. How could, why would you? You don't necessarily, you're not the NetSuite expert per se. So that's where our goal is to just really try to help uh, get some information out there and help people get the most out of their investment in NetSuite. So that's the objective. The agenda that we typically go through for these, and we'll do here today, we'll just do a quick introduction about Scale North and a high-level overview, and then we'll jump right into the masterclass. What we're going to cover in the masterclass is how to go over the overview of setting up an AI connector, and then also some actual use cases. So we'll do an automated demonstration where we'll let AI kind of do it and walk us through it. And then we'll do some human-led examples too, where we can kind of do some use cases. And then we'll finish with a live Q&A and next steps. So Charles, I'll hand it back to you.
Absolutely. Um, so just quick intros. Charles Stevenson, VP of Sales here. I've been here a little over a year. Prior to this, I managed two large sales teams for two Fortune 500 companies. Bachelor's degree in accounting as well. Let go of that life many, many years ago. Um, and the man, the myth, legend, Mr. Dean Carazza, my masterclass buddy. Many, many years of experience. He's a CPA. Obviously has good public accounting foundation, a lot of private industry experience, 8 years NetSuite experience, both from using it as assistant controller for a fairly large distributor here in local Orange County, and then 6 years with ScaleNorth. The last, 2 years, 3 years has been in sales, but before that, he's actually a director in our implementation and consulting side, actually doing some of the most complex 20 plus implementations and the really complex ones here for the company. So you're talking to the right guy. He puts a lot of time and effort into this stuff. It takes time to put these together. If you've seen our stuff before or the PDFs or the walkthroughs, it is very detailed. So definitely want to give him kudos once you go through this. So next slide. Very brief overview. Why listen to us? Who are we? We're one of the largest NetSuite solutions partners in North America. There are other firms that are bigger than us in terms of revenue, but their specific NetSuite practice is very small, 20 people, 10 people, etc. We have almost 280 people, 1,600 years of combined NetSuite experience, 680 NetSuite certifications. I think probably the most impressive out of all of it is just really the tenure, right? If you work with people either at NetSuite or other places, their tenure is usually 1 to 3 years. Our average is 8.5 years of NetSuite experience, which you'll know that's it brings a lot of value. And we also process almost 3 billion in revenue for our clients per year through NetSuite. So we're not only a technology third-party partner. One, we use it internally, but two, more importantly, we're using NetSuite for our outsourced accounting clients. 140, 150 clients where they're outsourcing anywhere from just AP, AR to controller and down, where their whole accounting team in NetSuite. And over 61% of that team, our total staff are CPAs, even on the technology side. So services, NetSuite, we do implementations. Obviously, we do a lot of rescue implementations. We have an outsourced accounting group as well, where there's NetSuite certified CPAs. Then we do post-go live, so consulting, managed services, and then we have a technical services group, which we build our own apps, heavy, strong architect and development team. And we have about, I think, 4 to 5 NetSuite apps that are on the Suite app that we developed ourselves. So next slide. Technology partners, a lot of ones you've probably seen, some pretty big, these are just a handful of the major ones. We deal with quite a few of them. So we're very averse to those. So next one.
Okay, I'll take this one, Charles. It's just a disclaimer, right? We're showing people how to do stuff. It's tactical. The idea is hopefully if this is more educational, in nature and demonstration, is the purpose. So like, don't go do all this stuff in your production NetSuite environment, right? We cannot take responsibility for anything that you're going to do in your own NetSuite environment. If you want to try some stuff out in your sandbox, at the end of the day, you're responsible for your data, your system. So it's just a disclaimer that, we're using a demo account. We've always been using demo accounts. It's fake data, things like that, but it's more to show you what's possible and how to get the most out of setup. So just a disclaimer there is all before we really dive into it. And then that's it. We're going to jump into it now, Charles, if you're good.
Do it.
All right. So we're going to look at, like we said, an overview of the setup, some examples and use cases. The first thing that we're going to go through is how to actually, set up the AI connector within NetSuite and configure it. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen for a sec and then try to bring up NetSuite here. One sec.
Actually, while you're doing that, Dean, so when you guys have questions, instead of putting them in the chat, literally just go to, it should be the middle of your screen. There's a TV screen that has a question mark. Click Q&A and then put it in there just so we can track it, just because stuff's going to be flying in the chat. We want to make sure it's answered and we can track it appropriately. So
Charles, are you there? I don't hear you anymore.
Can you hear me? Can you guys hear me? I think Dean, that may be just you. Dean is having some technical difficulties, which is not good. But anyways, put it in the Q&A, bottom middle of your screen. It says Q&A. There's a little question mark inside of a box. So just so we can keep track of it a little bit better in case there's stuff flying in the chat. And Melissa, I will let you know, I literally just grabbed it on Amazon. I probably researched it, a day too many. I just grabbed one that was like $200 and it was a walking pad. So nothing too fancy, but I do like it. I can send you the link if you like, but it was like $150. So Dean is having some internet issues. So I'm going to try and ping him here. Let's see. Sorry, guys. Oh, I think he's might be back. Oh, Dean.
Hey guys, sorry, I'm having some internet connectivity issues here, so I'm hoping we'll be able to get through it. Otherwise, we'll have to see what happens. But yeah, it might drop in and out. Um, Charles, where did it leave off? Where were you leaving it off?
Oh, I was just telling people to put it in the Q&A.
Okay.
Put the Q&A. So yeah, I mean, literally, you were right here at this with Cloud.
Okay. So can you guys see my NetSuite?
Yes.
All right. So let's go through this. So to set up the AI connector, there's a couple steps that you go through. One, you'll have to install a Suite app. So if you come to your Suite apps here, you should be able to find the MCP Suite app. So here's this MCP Suite app. You can click on it. You see I've already installed it in this instance. So one is get that installed. And then after that, you need to configure a role. You cannot connect an administrator role to your AI tool. So you need to kind of configure a role that's non-admin. It doesn't matter which one, but you have to add a couple permissions to it in order for it to be able to work. So the role that we set up, I'll show you if we go to set up user roles, manage roles. We're using just this role that we already had here. And if you edit it and go to the setup tab, you can see that we add in the MCP server connection permission for full permission. And then you need this OAuth 2.0 connection. So as long as you have a role configured with those two, you've installed the Suite app, you should be good from a NetSuite perspective. You need to make sure you're in that role when you first try to connect the connector. You can toggle to another role once you've made a solid connection. But for the first time connecting, you'll want to be in the role that has these permissions. So I'm going to switch over to that role now. And that's kind of all you need from a NetSuite setup. Additionally, when you go to set up, you think we need in the company information, you're going to need a URL to key into Claude, which is the AI agent that we're going to be using. So in the setup company information, if you go to company URLs, you have this URL here. So basically, you'll need that URL when you come to start configuring Claude. Now, Claude is a third-party AI agent similar to ChatGPT. The reason I'm using this one is because it was the one that was referenced in the NetSuite help for connecting MCP. I do think I'm paying for a pro version. It's $20 a month just to play around and mess around with it. So you would need your own account and things like that. But once you have basically a Claude account set up, you should be able to proceed to trying to connect it. So in order to connect it, we come into your account and you go to settings and you go to connectors, and then you have the option to add a custom connector. That's where it's going to ask you to name it and put in your URL. And so you'll see we've already installed this one to our NetSuite account here. So I'm going to disconnect it really quick, just so you can see what that process looks like. Okay, so then when you're ready, you can hit connect to reconnect it. This is where you're going to get, an authorization page that, hey, you're going to be sharing your NetSuite data with Claude AI, right? So definitely you need to read these disclaimers, make sure you're comfortable with it. But effectively, if you're good and you acknowledge it, you hit continue. And just like that, it says we've successfully connected our account. Once you have a successful connection, you can look at the configuration of it. So here are all the tools. So basically, Claude AI is kind of an agent. You look at it as a chat agent, an AI agent, and it's going to reference different tool sets that it can use. So it has tools in its toolkit that it can use to perform actions, query the system, do things like that. You can see the ones here. You can kind of turn these on or off, toggle them on or off if you want. The ones that are made available out of the box, if you go to the help section and you research the NetSuite AI connector, it tells you here's the predefined tools. So you can update a customer, but only with what's here, right? So it's fairly limited, but it's a good, jump off point to start seeing what's possible. I'm sure they'll kind of add on to this. And the idea is you can build your own tools. So for instance, there wasn't much about getting financial information from here. So we basically built some of our own custom tools and dropped them in here too. So you can see like get GL, send an email, find leads, create an opportunity. These are all custom ones that we built over the top of the canned ones that can now be accessed and used. So you'll see that in action here today. But that's pretty much it. I mean, you see it's not that much of a major step to get it set up. So now we can proceed to actually trying out some of our use cases now that we're connected. So to kind of demonstrate just how effective AI is, I'm going to let it do most of the demonstration here. It's going to automate my job right now. So that's what we're going to try out is I'm going to instruct, so we can start a new chat here. So I'll go to new chat. And I'm basically, let's see. We don't have any connection issues. I'm basically going to ask Claude to demo all of those NetSuite tools. So, hi Claude, I would like you to automate my demonstration of today's masterclass by showing your robust capabilities of all your NetSuite tools, including some financial analysis. Please send an executive summary email at the end with links to all the records and examples created in your demonstration. A little wordy on my end. You probably could be a little bit more brief, but that's fine. And we'll just let this thing run and see what happens.
And being wordy is usually good too, Dean. And when you're giving it prompts, you want to give it as much information as possible. So
yeah, I think everybody's finding that the power of AI is going to start becoming, and it's going to do a lot of the work for you. But if you don't give it a good prompt or a detailed prompt, you'll start finding where you have to be a little bit more specific or maybe a little bit more general. But you see, it's running right now. It's basically doing our demonstration right now. So it's saying, okay, I'm going to do that for you. It's going to go through. It's going to create a lead record for us. And it's thinking, and so it's creating a lead. What I love about this is you kind of see it working, right? Like it's kind of cool to just watch the thing do work. It would take me a lot longer to try to go through all these steps for you guys right now. So that's what I find pretty amazing. So it's already created a lead. Now it's going to create an opportunity. And it's going through it. It's smart enough to know that I want a demonstration for all the tools that are there. So it's going through all the tools and performing demonstration or creating records for each tool. So it's already created an opportunity. Now it's going to update the status of an opportunity. Now it's going to simulate creating a customer. So it's going and creating a customer on our account. It's saying we're even simulating for the demo. Let's pretend that we won the deal and let's make it a customer. So, and you see basically these little boxes, the NetSuite boxes, these are the tools that it's running. So you can see which tools it's firing as it's kind of working its way through a problem or through a prompt. So now it's going to check the customer's transactions and balances. It's getting customer transactions. Now it's proceeding into some inventory management, checking on some inventory SKUs and pulling back some certain data off of an inventory item. So there's a check inventory levels tool. Now it's doing some analysis. Running some custom queries.
So, Dean, what you're saying is you didn't have to prepare so much for this one.
It might be a reason why I showed up at like late. Like I didn't have to do much. I mean, there is. I'm going to show you the human one led where I came up some with some examples of my own that I want to show you guys too. But like somebody, one of my colleagues was like, you should just ask it if it could demo itself. And I was like, that's silly. Why would I do like, and I did, and it literally is smart enough to like perform a demo.
That's
So
that's awesome.
So now it's proceeding. Now it's going into the financial analysis and it's going to go pull our GL numbers and start doing some analysis on our financials for us. And now it's almost to the end. It's sending me the executive email that I've asked, yeah, hey, when you're done with all this, send me an email with an executive summary. So I would say in less than 5 minutes, it's created multiple records, updated status of records, checked on your inventory, did financial analysis, and is sending us an email recapping it all in an executive summary. I couldn't do one of those things in 5 minutes. You know what I mean? So it's, you just start to see the power of this thing working on your behalf. I can check my email. Great. So it's done. NetSuite Masterclass demonstration complete. Here are some of the highlights, right? Generated an opportunity. Here's some of the key business metrics, what your year-to-date revenue is, your net income, you have a 5.7 profit margin, what your cash balance is, tells you how many customers you have with 100K. It's just, and then it created links that you can use for any of the records that was created and the executive summary. And then if I check my email, I should have gotten an email. You see this here? Here's basically an email laying it all out with links to the actual records. And same thing, walking you through your balance sheet, walking you through your income statement. So kind of just a cool, fun use case just to try out so you can kind of see. I couldn't think of a quicker version for you to see all the tools kind of get demonstrated quickly. So this basically just did a quick, crash course through all of them. So we'll go back to Claude here now. Maybe I'll pause there, Charles, before we go into the human-led examples, if there's any questions.
I don't see, let me pull it back up. I think there were actually, I'm lying. There are quite a few. Sorry. Had the wrong screen up. Roy said, quick question. Will we be connecting to Claude? That was recently showing as available to connect directly to NetSuite. I think you answered that one. Nitish said, little scary to grant full access to an AI connector within NetSuite. Does it post entries?
It doesn't post entries out of the box, like when you say entries, journal entries, but it does have the ability to create records and update them. So the ones that are available out of the box, you can update a customer, you can create a customer, create customer. So that some of the canned ones are fairly limited, but what's crazy is if you have the capability, which our team does, as I mentioned, we've already built some of our own tools. Like send an email wasn't a tool. You don't see send an email in here, but we added in the ability to send an email, right? So in theory, you could automate anything if you have the technical, chops to do it. But this is just the jump off point, guys. Like what's crazy is how fast AI changes. I was going to demonstrate something else. And last week, NetSuite dropped the news of this AI connector being available. So everything that you're seeing, me and my team have only had our hands on less than a week. So it's changing and evolving so fast. This will continue to get, more robust. You're going to see other NetSuite partners and other people trying to build out their own tools and things like that. So we're at kind of the jump off point now, but you're going to start to see like this is just a glimpse of what's possible. It's going to only be, a lot more infinite in terms of.
Oh no. I think Dean froze. He told me before he was having internet issues. Let's see if I can ping him. Yeah, Dean's AI. He's not even real. This is he's in the Bahamas right now. No, I'm just kidding. I know we have a lot of questions. It's a good time to just put some questions in the Q&A. Once again, if you can just use the Q&A box at the bottom, that would be good. Yeah, sharing his screen is going to be tough because he's got to be the one sharing screen, so it's going to be an internet hog for him for sure. Um, I'm gonna see if I can get him. One second, guys. Sorry. And there he is.
Hey guys, sorry. That's a bummer. I mean, like I said, we've done 11 of these, and I think this is the first one I've ever had internet issues. So apologies, but hopefully we could bear through it.
People said you weren't real, Dean. They said you're AI.
I'm glitching out over here.
He's glitching.
Um, but yeah, let me see if I can pick back up where the questions were.
Yeah, we got a good amount. So let's just can we use Copilot AI to connect?
I think you'd have to test it out. The connection steps would be the same. I've heard some other people connect other AI agents. We were going to try to connect ChatGPT, but that was kind of airing out. So again, the only reason we use Claude is because it was the one that was referenced in the NetSuite help, and I think Claude has more foundation with MCP type stuff or something like that. So you'd have to try it. There's no harm in trying. You could try another one, but we're just following what was in the NetSuite help.
Yep. Same. Someone asked the same thing about Gemini, so it kind of answers that question.
Yep.
I'm curious to know. Roy said he's curious to know if this could help with data ETA. I'm sorry, data ETL when a company is acquired and we need to import that entity data and preventing duplicates.
I think it could. Again, I think the best way is you're going to have to test things out and try things out to confirm and see for sure. But some of the testing that I've done was already saying I sense duplicates. There's already a customer created under that name. Are you sure you want me to create it? Like it does have some validation and checking in there when you prompt it to do things. So and there is learning as long as you're within a current chat. Um, it's smart enough to kind of look through its own chat history and use that in the next prompts and things like that too. So let me just see if I drop a connection here. It looks like it's still connected. I have my answer based on what I'm seeing. If there is a WF that requires approval for creating a new customer, does it catch this? It might. When I tried to create a customer, it told me that there was two mandatory fields that needed to be populated. The cool thing is it actually told me which mandatory fields those were. And if you then said, okay, give it this value, give it this value, it was able to then retry and actually finish its process. So it's kind of an interactive way of putting data in your system rather than just loading a CSV import or something like that. What do the AI changes look like in NetSuite? I'll show that here in a second in the next example where you can look at the system notes. But I think it says like basically RESTlet or some type of script RESTlet is what creates the record. What is your thoughts on how ScaleNorth is going to leverage this new connector? We're already using it internal. We're planning to probably use it internally, and we're already working on building out these tools that we can make available to people so you don't have to recreate the wheel. I mean, it's very new. Like I said, this just dropped like a week ago, but we already have our team uh, working to make these tools available if people are interested in them.
Uh, Dean, did you see the ones at the top? Seeing the tools that you've built out, is there any way you can share those with us?
I'll have to check on you. I mean, we could tell you like what they are, but like I said, we're still trying to figure out internally what's going on. The goal right now is to be more informative and just show you what's possible. Still very new at this point, so I don't know that I could answer that question totally at this point.
Do you know if this has machine learning in case there are custom fields that need to be populated if I wanted to create a lead?
I don't know that. Again, I think I would defer to trying some testing and testing out, and trying for yourself to see. It's done things that I didn't even think were possible, so that's where it's almost like just try and and you'll kind of figure it out there. But I don't know for sure on that.
Um, Share workflow that requires approval for creating a new customer. Does this catch this?
We'd have to try it, but like I told you, I think it might because when I tried to use the create customer and I had some mandatory fields on there, it had said, "Hey, you have two mandatory fields. You need to tell me what those values are before I could proceed." So I think it could be something similar. If you have an approval workflow or something in there, it might catch that.
And then someone asks that they're running late. Our product is being demoed at Net AI connector.
What was that? Oh, what we're demoing?
Yeah.
Yeah, the AI connector. Yep.
And then is that connector free?
I'm actually have a question out to my channel manager in NetSuite right now. I think they're going to charge for it.
I'm trying
I don't know for sure. Obviously, we were able to install it as a partner and we have a demo account, but I do think there will be some type of charge for it.
did you answer Adam's question already? What do the AI changes look like in NetSuite?
We're going to show that next.
Yeah. I'm just trying to make sure we have a lot of them in here. Just trying to make sure we get to them. Good old Chris wants to ask a question. Chris Emery, inventory report by replication each morning.
I don't think so. Again, you have to look at most of your success, unless you build a custom tool, is going to be predefined in what you can try right here. You can see on the get whereas the check inventory levels, you can kind of see what's here. Maybe you could see it by location. But I found when you were looking in here, some of the details, it's not like the full database is available, right? They've limited it to a handful of records and fields and things like that. So probably not. But again, the best way to do it, if you have a use case in mind, I would try it out. And it will actually tell you like, hey, I do not have access to a tool or that information in NetSuite. So it actually will even tell you like, hey, I can't do that. Maybe if you do this, this, and this, then I will be able to do that for you. So like it really is like you're interacting with somebody and telling you what they need or what how else you can kind of tweak it. I think
Uh,
Charles, let's pause there because
yeah,
there is a lot of questions
there's a lot.
for once. That's good.
So we'll stop
So
it. We'll stop at Brian's.
Brian,
Brian Reed. I'm keeping track.
you're keeping track.
The ones that
Okay.
are still open in the QA. We'll start with Brian and then we'll go
What
down to
skills
Brian.
are needed to create new tools? You would probably need development skills, like Sweet Script and things like that. All right.
Cool.
So let's see. We'll come back to the questions. We got more time scheduled at the end, but I wanted to kind of get into the next use case here, if that's okay, Charles.
Yeah.
All right. So now we're going to try out the human-led examples. So I'm going to go back to Claude. Looks like we're still connected. And I'm going to start a new chat. So use case here is I kind of want to find who my top customers are. I'm going to want to give them a credit limit increase, and then I'm going to want to send them an email notifying that we've approved them for a credit limit increase and thank you for their business. That's kind of what we're going to automate right now. So I'll start out by saying, who are my tier one customers? And it's going to go try to figure that out. And it's going to try some different things to do that. And you can see it keeps trying things like, that was a little hard. Let me try something else. Like, oh, maybe like it's literally working through this, right? So I just asked it an open-ended question and it's thinking its way through the problem. So again, if you start to get more specific, maybe you can narrow your prompt down, so the more specific you are, maybe it's not trying all these different things, but again, you just got to kind of play with it and see. But it's trying a couple different approaches here. And the hard thing about AI is you never get a consistent, it's kind of good and kind of scary, is like I haven't been able to get it to repeat itself exactly the same any one time. Like it always is slightly a little bit different. The output's slightly a little bit different, but it's finally found 3 customers that are tagged as tier one, which is correct. I tagged these customers as tier one. So maybe I could have helped it out by saying, find my tier one category customers. Maybe that would have been more specific and it could have found it faster. But I think the cool thing is it still figured it out itself. It just took a little while to go through some different, iterations till it found it. So it found my 3 tier one customers and it's telling you who they are, their contact info, all that. That's great. So now that I know who my top customers are, maybe I want to give them a credit limit increase, right? I'd like to do more business with them. So I'm just going to say, thanks. Please update each of these customers' credit limit by 20%. Now it's going to go update all those customers' credit limit 20%. It's already checking what their current credit limit is, what a 20% increase would be, and what their new credit limit's going to be. And it's going to go perform that action for us rather than me having to go in a NetSuite, bring them up one by one, do it. It's going to go do all 3 right now. And what's cool is you see it working. So update 3 customers, 1, 2, 3, right? You can tell it's updating those 3 customers right here. Perfect. I've successfully done it for your 3 customers. It's building me out a little table, showing me who they were, what it was before, what the new limit is, what the increase was, and would you like me to do anything else? So we can go check on one of those now. So if I bring up this customer, just to validate that it happened, let's see, I'm going to switch over to administrator role. And I'll bring up that customer. It's funny is the AI agent's faster than the demo account, right? You can see it takes a little longer for records to load in our demo account, but you saw how quickly it actually worked in Claude. So if I go to the financial tab, here you go. Here's your new credit limit, 1,125,000. To Adam's question earlier, if you go to the system information and you filter for the credit limit field, you can see it tracks the history, what the old value was, what the new value is. It still shows that it was performed by me because it knows that I was logged in, but it was under the context of a script RESTlet. So that's how you know it was done through a script, but it was by my user. That answers that question and that shows that capability. So great. We figured out who our top customers were. We've given them a 20% credit increase. Now I'd like to send them an email just, letting them know and thanking them for their business, right? So I'm going to say, please draft an email for my review to send to each of these customers, notifying them of their approved credit limit increase and our appreciation for their business. in the tone, let's have some fun, of Samuel L. Jackson with only my name, Dean Carazza, and title of president in the signature. So I'm just instructing it to, draft me an email so I could take a look and see what that looks like. Here we go. It's drafting me an email. Dear customer, let's see, hope this finds you well, right? And it's basically drafted an email for us. So you can review that. It's telling you what their credit limit was, that it's up to 20%, right? And if you're good with that, we can tweak it or you can approve it. I'm just gonna say I approve this draft. Please send to each of these customers. And look, it's smart enough. I didn't say email, right? I said, please send to each of these. It's smart enough to know that I'm wanting to send an email and that it's going to fire the send email tool. So here it goes. It's sending 3 emails right now. Boom, boom. Maybe had a network error with my connection, but let's see if it will finish.
Yeah, your video's frozen. Nope, I think we lost him again. Sorry, guys. I see a couple of questions in the chat. If you can just put those in the Q&A so we can track them, that'd be great. I just don't want them to get lost in the shuffle. I'm going to put in the chat again. Perfect pause time here. The link to our NetSuite Made Easy group. We put a lot of tips and tricks in there as well. So I put that in the chat if you want to check it out. I'm also going to put Dean's LinkedIn and then also my LinkedIn. There he is.
Yeah, I may be able to try to get an Ethernet cable if it drops again. It's just kind of crazy. Sorry about that.
Just so we're just going to use it as a pause to have everyone go to our NetSuite Made Easy
Okay, good.
group.
Let's see. Oh, all right. So it did at least it finished sending the 2. I think it got stuck on the 3rd one, but you can see it literally sent these emails right here with our template and drafted. So again, I think what's kind of cool is like we kind of just showed a cool end-to-end process of like, hey, query up the system for who are my top customers. Great. Let's give them a credit limit increase. Let's tell them how much we appreciate them and then send them an email. Like, I don't know. I think it's pretty cool, right? So you start to see some processes and things that you can start to interact with this thing and it can do a lot faster. And I think we were going to proceed to our last use case. This one has kind of worked with varying success, so let's see here. But what we're going to try out is we're going to load a template. So let me see here. We have a blank reporting package template here with just some key financial information, maybe some KPIs and metrics and some headers. And we're just going to feed this to the Claude and see if it can fill this in with NetSuite data. So let's start a new chat. Just going to make sure we are showing connected. I think so, should be good. So start a new chat and going to say, fill out this reporting, fill out this financial reporting package from NetSuite and include a download link to an Excel document. And then you can actually upload a file. So we will upload the reporting package file and then we'll let it rip and see what happens. So it's now reading the Excel document, examining it, trying to figure out what it is that you're trying to do. So you see it working real time. Now it's like, great, let me get financial data from NetSuite. So it's running the GL summary tool. Now it's going to create a reporting package for us. Kind of see it working. It's filling in all the information. Kind of encountered an issue, but it's trying to fix itself. Now it's going to literally create the HTML and the output of that reporting package. Kind of see it working real time on the side. So this is where I also think it's kind of crazy is like if you had to hire a developer to build a financial reporting package, right? Like it's pretty nuts. So we'll see. It might be glitching out a little bit. Let's see if it, oh, I need to hit continue. It kind of hit its max length. So as long as you hit continue, I think it's going to keep trying to build it out. There you go. So I think it's starting to show you kind of what it looks like. It's giving you some metrics, right? And you can download it to Excel, basically gives you some contents. So it's kind of cool. I've seen different versions. Like I said, the hard part is every time it builds me a different looking financial output here. But I think if we download the Excel report, you can kind of see, I think it filled it in. So it did through May, filled in some of our data here. Right. So you just got to kind of play around with it. Like I said, I've had a little bit of varying success with this, but the idea and principle is pretty cool that giving it an unstructured spreadsheet, it was able to read it, go pull NetSuite data and fill it in for you. It's just kind of an interesting use case, that you can try out and see as well. So Charles, I think that was kind of that's it in terms of the use cases we were going to show today. I think we can kind of open it back up to some questions.
Sure. We have quite a few. Let's just start at the top with Abby's. When you say you have added the tools, what type of process does that look like? Are you scripting additional tools, or is it something you are building within AI tool?
It's a new script type within NetSuite, a tool script. So as long as you know how to build scripts in NetSuite, it's just a different script type. So most developers would be able to write script to create tools.
And then Carlos said, does it need a premium account?
Not that I'm aware of. Again, I think there's going to be more information coming out. Hope we didn't steal NetSuite's thunder from Suite World already, but I think there'll be a lot more information coming out of, at Suite World when they're planning to announce most of the more detailed information on it. Like I said, this literally just dropped a week ago, and so just trying to show you, like, get after it fast, show some cool concepts, some cool things, but it's going to still be evolving, and there is going to be a lot more announced at Suite World.
Nice. Speaking of that, if you're going to be going to Sweet World, put an S in the chat. I'd love to connect with you guys, and we're going to be doing an event as well.
Yeah.
Any data security risks? I think that came up a couple times.
Probably. I don't know. I mean, obviously, I think it was built out and structured in a way that, there is security. You have to authorize that you're doing it. So I'd read all the fine print, make sure you understand that. I do know that a lot of people are going to want those security questions answered. So I also was asking my NetSuite channel manager, what's NetSuite's position on security and all this stuff. I think it's something that we'll continue to see more come out around the Suite World time, but I think it's no different than ChatGPT and those things. If you have your own account, I don't know. I'm not qualified to speak on the risk of it, to be honest. It's just something that I do think you'd want to make sure you're doing your due diligence. And I think cybersecurity with AI, one of my buddies is an insurance broker, and he said cybersecurity insurance is through the roof. So AI is helping literally drive a bunch of insurance and stuff like that too. So probably want to make sure you're insured, probably want to make sure you got a good lawyer. But hey, if you're trying to stay cutting edge, it obviously seems like this is where everything's going. So might as well embrace it rather than ignore it.
I
All
wonder
right.
if it says next one says Roy. I wonder if UECS scripts run when Claude tries to assert a record. That's a misprint.
I'm not technical enough, but I think we got Kel on the call. Kel, if you want to come off mute and maybe you can answer that question for me, I'd appreciate it. If not, I'm not technical enough to answer that one, Roy.
Is Kel on? I didn't see him.
I thought I saw him on at one point. Maybe he dropped.
Oh, maybe. If you're on Kel, I don't see you. Just click raise your hand and you can open it up. Anonymous, can you connect other sources within NetSuite? For example, a spreadsheet on SharePoint and NetSuite data.
Not sure about that one. Maybe I don't know about through Claude. I mean, there is ways like you saw with the spreadsheet and stuff like that. You can interact with it and do stuff like that. But to connect it to an actual SharePoint, I think that would be more like a file service type integration.
Gotcha. Once we connect, who can have access to the AI tool?
Any role that has those permissions that I showed you in the beginning, as long as they have an AI account, like a Claude account, and then they have a NetSuite role with those permissions, then they just have to do the steps that I was showing you, make that connection, and then they're good. So I think each person would probably need a user account with Claude. And then as far as NetSuite, as long as they already have a NetSuite user license, I think they just need a role that will have those MCP permissions with it.
Could we hear about the tools you are wanting to create?
Yeah, this is still very early. Like I said, this just dropped a week ago, and we were just messing around, creating some tools, trying some things out. I think financials is key, right? Everybody wants to be able to query, financial information from their system, get comparative analysis, things like that. So it's good at doing that type of stuff. And then any type of action that you want to do. we focused on some CRM tools that you saw that you could create a lead, create an opportunity, create a really, I think it's going to be endless. I think you're going to probably need to create different tools to cover different use cases. But again, that's where we can help with that. If you have a particular use case that you're interested in exploring, we'd be happy to talk through that more. But yeah, it's still at the very early stages. So you saw what you get out of the box canned is pretty brief. So you're going to probably to do some pretty powerful stuff with it, you're going to probably need some technical help.
Did you, Brian said, did you build the tools out yourself, or did you utilize Claude to develop and build them?
I didn't build them. I'm not sophisticated enough to, but one of our ScaleNorth team members did. And it's not using Claude to help. It's because they're developers and they know how to do it. Maybe they could, I mean, maybe you could use the ChatGPT or Claude to try to get an idea for what a script might look like, but they have that technical knowledge to build the tools.
Save search capabilities, question mark. Could it pull and analyze save search, or does it need to be a stock search report
Yeah,
comparing the two
interesting.
results?
I don't know for sure. What I do know is the GL summary stuff that we're pulling is not a save search. It looks like the tool script or something like that actually it pulls from analytics, so from data sets. So uh, I think it's pulling from data sets, not save searches.
And before I'm just gonna open up our um, masterclass survey. It should have popped up on your screen. Please, 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 guys. If you can fill this out, this helps us tremendously. Obviously, AI was a big topic, so we brought it on, but we need to hear, what do you guys want to hear about? So the survey should have popped up on your screen. It's literally 8 questions, takes 20 seconds, right? Um, if you can fill that out, like I said, these sessions are for you guys, right? It's to give you guys free information from us, obviously. So we need to hear from you guys as much as we can. So please, please, please take 30 seconds and fill that out. Um, that'll stay up for a second there. Bob was just mentioning it's a free suite app, which is great. Data security, again, I think we talked about that. Roy asked, when you're using the $20 a month paid for service of Claude, do you know if it's a public instance or private? Question.
I don't know. I think it tells you when you're signing up, so you just review that. I just signed up for a very brief, there's an even higher grade like enterprise and stuff like that. I just went with a minimal one just to test it out. So I think that when you go to sign up for an account on Claude, it gives you all the options and fine print on it.
If you are connecting an environment where financial data is closely held, my instinct is that you wouldn't want Claude or any AI accessing and summarizing
Yeah, the
FSLI
security
security.
stuff, I believe me, I was hoping to have had more research and maybe I'm not qualified. This is too big of an area and a little too scary to say.
Nope. I think Dean froze on this. He froze on us, but perfect opportunity. Spend a couple seconds, fill out that survey for us. It helps us tremendously understanding what's important, what do you guys want to see, right, on a go-forward basis, so that we can continue to give you guys, you know, good information, you know, as much as we can, because that for us, otherwise there's so, I mean, as we all know, NetSuite is very powerful. There's a million different ways we can go with this, and it really helps me and Dean figure out, okay, what are we gonna do next month and the next month when we're planning information. So you guys can help with that. That would be greatly appreciated. Literally takes like 10, 20 seconds to do. Perfect timing while we're waiting for Mr. Dean to come back and answer the rest of these questions. I'm not technically savvy enough to answer these, or I would try. I'm not going to embarrass myself by doing that. Also, if you're going to go to Suite World, I put my email in the chat. Feel free. We're going to have an event as well as for clients, but we also we have invites available. So feel free to send me an email. I put in the chat and send that survey. So good stuff. Dean's back.
Yeah, sorry.
Um,
I was saying the security stuff, I'm going to still continue to do some research. And if we find more, we'll be happy to share more with this community and stuff. But yeah, it's still too early and I don't have enough. It's a valid concern. I think people need to, take that into consideration with all this stuff. But like I said, it's a heavy topic. It's something that's being talked about a lot. I think it's good as a community to just get a consensus and try to learn more. But I'm waiting for some of the, like I said, Oracle and some of the other players to kind of get more literature out there on their stance behind it. They didn't build it to do all this if they thought people couldn't use it. So I know that much, right? But how secure it is, all those things, good questions.
yep. Brian asks, will it look at your user role before it allows you to make updates? You change credit limits. Did the AI make sure you had the authority to do so? I think yes, but
Yeah, your role is tied to the AI, so you can only do things that your role could do in NetSuite. So if your role couldn't perform that kind of financial update on a customer record, it wouldn't let you do it.
Roy, this is probably a dumb question, but do we have to train this model in any way? Like Gemini for our company, it does not train the model based on our data, which is why we trust it.
I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, I don't know if it's more of training, but just more of, I think you try different prompts, and if you get a little bit better at prompting it, you start to figure out, oh, it liked when I asked it this way instead of that way. But I've been pretty impressed. I haven't been that impressed with AI today. Everybody thought, oh, AI, all this. I haven't thought it was that cool, but this is probably the first time that I'm like, oh, like, dude, there's some stuff here now. But like, if they just tighten it up, like, it's gonna do a lot. So I think it's pretty sophisticated and doesn't need that much training, but it doesn't always get it right. And if it's not getting it right, sometimes you go back and realize, oh, well, I didn't tell it that. Like I misinstructed it. You know what I mean? So I think that's going to be kind of the where the skills will the better you can write prompts, you'll probably get better success.
Victoria, what were the two required permissions for the role that we need to create before we connect in Suite apps?
The two were, let me tell you. Again, it's in the recording, so we'll get that sent out. But it's the under the setup subtab. I can maybe show it. I just keep losing access a bunch. But if we go to setup, user roles, manage roles, go to the role that you're going to give the permission to and edit under setup. It's these two right here, MCP server connection, and then it's this OAuth 2.0 authorized applications management. Those two.
Perfect. Roy, did Dean does this do a good job with RAG TAGs with connector to Claude? Cite your source with this chat result, i.e. cite your source.
I might not. I'm sorry. I might not know what the RAG tag. I've heard people use that before. I'm not fully understanding what that is. But if you mean like, can you tell it like, give me a list and provide links or cite your sources? Yes, it does that. It's pretty cool.
Next one, this is anonymous. Have you encountered any record limits? 10,000 financial records for review. Example, Q1 versus Q2 comparisons. How do you get around?
I haven't yet. I mean, I've had some timeout issues, but I think that honestly is more my internet today than what I've had when I've been playing with this thing. So I think you'll have to try it out. I was gonna say if we once we get to the end, we can just try some free prompts and try some stuff too, just to see. I mean, we could show more, but I don't think so. At least from what I've tried out, I haven't seen any issues yet.
Perfect. FW, is a financial reporting package part of this tool, or is it something else that you have built?
No, Claude built it on the fly. Like every time it looks slightly different too. Like if you go back into some of my more historical chats, you can see like the I don't know if it will bring it up here, but it builds slightly different financial reporting package every time. Some I like more than others, but I'm like, I don't know why it doesn't. Every time it looks different, but you can see here like different examples and stuff of it.
Next question, how accurate the results are.
Pretty accurate. I was tying stuff out because I'm an accountant. I tie it back out to the financials, the income statement and balance sheet and things like that. So it's been pretty accurate. I've noticed on the balance sheet sometimes it may not get the right like total current liabilities, but um, it's been pulling back the cash balance correctly, accounts receivable, all that stuff, and the P&L seems to almost be spot on every time. Income, revenue, gross profit, all that. It like most of the time I've checked that it's been spot on, which is pretty surprising. And now what I'll tell you is it couldn't do that before. That's why we created a GL tool to make that exposable. And once we added in our GL tool, the accuracy went way up because now it has better access to what it's trying to pull.
Can we build a Suitelet UI and connect it with AI?
Can we build a Suitelet UI and connect it with AI? Maybe I'd have to defer again. I don't know if one of my technical team members is on the call. Probably, but I don't know. I haven't tried that. I'm not aware of that.
Is there anything allowing us to use Claude, etc., from inside NetSuite, like a query dialog on the customer record?
Is there? Yeah, so interesting. That's what I was gonna originally show, but it's just not as good as this Claude thing because Claude's a competitor with ChatGPT and there's a lot of funding and it's much more advanced AI model, but there is like a language model within NetSuite. So if you look what I was originally thinking we were going to show today, but now it's kind of embarrassing. Um, we set up a chat agent uh here. Let me see if I could find it. Yeah, you see here? Kind of created our own little chatbot thing, but it sucks. It's not great. It doesn't have as much capability, and it's not truly like an AI agent. It's more of just like go get a response and return a response. It's not as built out as something like this, as you guys can see. Um, so we tried out some stuff like that, but this is what I was planning to show today until NetSuite dropped that they made an AI connector available like a week ago. So you could, in theory, ask this thing like, I don't think there was financial stuff, but you can just ask it questions like, who won the 1988 World Series, I think, and then you have to hit submit. I don't know if this thing is still hooked up, but yeah, chatbot. The Los Angeles Dodgers won the 1988 World Series, right? Like it, there was some more stuff that we were building out to try to make this more useful, and then we realized this is like way ahead of the curve. But in theory, yes, this one is looking, I think, just at like a Cohere AI language model or something like that.
That was all of the questions we had. Any other questions, guys? Please fill out the survey. Like I said, it takes 30 seconds. And also let us know if you'd like to do a free health check assessment conversation. Or if you have a specific need, please feel free to reach out to either one of us. Um, but the questions and the survey is extremely important. It helps us understand where to put our time and energy. So please take 30 seconds to fill that out. And then this is just open live Q&A. If you guys have any questions, it does not have to be about AI. It can be literally anything that you guys want. That'd be great. Um, Roy had another question or comment. I've got so many ideas. I'd love to know this tool could report on non-search results. For example, NetSuite can't report on data that doesn't exist, such as tell me which customers didn't create a quote, opportunity, or sales order this week.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that. I know with what's currently available, I don't think that would be easy to do unless you try to start building your own tools. So again, if you have the technical knowledge and if you can create the tool, which, that's where developers are so important, right? They know how to basically, they can automate anything, they can create and make NetSuite almost do anything. So I anything's technically possible. And that's what's kind of cool is by allowing custom tools, basically you can make this thing as good as your skill set is, right? If you have good developers who know how to do, like, you can basically make this thing do a lot of things, but out of the box, you wouldn't be able to do that. Yeah. Yeah. So
Nice.
here's an example. I just asked it to compare financial comparison this year versus last year. It already is giving you the breakdown of the results. We can try running a P&L, I think. Financial income statement. And this year to date. So revenue 16,482,000, 16,482,000, right? Cost of goods sold 8.7, cost of goods sold 8.7. So it is pulling this stuff in accurately, right? Right from your financials, giving you the change, all this stuff. It's giving you some key takeaways. You had improved profit margins, right? Despite higher expenses. It's just like the best way is to just play around with this thing and try things out and see. But I've been pretty impressed. I'm not impressed by much. I think Charles will tell you that. I'm pretty
Grumpy. I think
but
grumpy is the
yeah,
right word, but go ahead. Yes.
yeah, yeah.
He's hard to impress for sure.
All right. Anything
Um,
else you guys want to maybe ask or maybe try out here? Otherwise, I know we're a little over time. So
yeah. Any questions? And it doesn't have to be AI related, obviously, or just, NetSuite related. This is just open mic live Q&A. You have a NetSuite expert in Mr. Dean here live and so let us know. Give it a couple minutes if you got questions, comments, and then please fill out the survey. Helps us tremendously, like I said, um, to figure out what the heck to do. Let me ask you this: put I guess a AI in the chat. Like, would you want us to do another one of these?
yeah, as we learn more and see it
Would that
progress.
yeah would that be helpful? Seems like this is a very um popular topic, but put a in the chat if you guys would want us to do that. I think we're always just trying to figure out, hey, what makes sense.
And I guess maybe two suggestions for next month's class. Maybe I actually have TBD at this point. So if anybody wants to put any comments in the chat, we can maybe take a look at those and see when we're considering next month's class.
Yep, that would be great. I think this AI one has been very popular, obviously, but any other questions, everyone? Open. We got one. Is it possible to export data according to accounting software format for taxation purposes?
I don't know. I don't know about that. I mean, I think you can see how we're able to export data, like when you give it a template and say, go retrieve me this information. But I don't know about taxation purposes and things like that. Again, I think so much of this is going to come back to if you got a use case, try it out, tweak it, see how you get it, if you can get it to do what you're trying to do. Um, I think the capabilities are pretty wide open, right? You just got to kind of try experiment with some stuff.
Um, Roy asked, Dean, if you go to your billing information, did it cost any for you to use the LLM?
Mm, for this, for the AI connector or for the thing I was showing that we tried to connect on our home dashboard.
AI connector.
Yeah, the AI can no, I can try to go in there and see. It's a demo account, so I don't know if it will show us anything. Again, I didn't have to pay for anything for this NetSuite account setup, but I do think they will start charging.
Nope. I think we whenever he freezes, it's usually a precursor to losing him. While we're waiting for him to come back, yeah, if you haven't already, please fill out that survey, guys. I know I keep saying it because otherwise we're just kind of shooting in the dark and trying to figure out what do you guys want to see. We have our own ideas, right? We live, breathe, eat NetSuite all day and night, but we want to know what you guys want to see. So that survey helps us considerably. Mm. And then also any other just AI tools. If you guys, AI tools, sorry, NetSuite questions. It doesn't have to be AI related. You'll be coming back here in a second. If we could, just for the people that are still left, if you can just give like a thumbs up or give Dean some love in chat as he comes back to it. As you can tell, this takes a lot of work. He still has a full-time job and working on our sales team, and he puts these together on a weekly basis. It takes a lot of time just getting data, working it internally, all that stuff. So I think he can see the previous chat. But if we can show my good buddy Dean some love, that would be greatly appreciated. I know he puts a lot of time and effort into this. And yeah, you will get the recorded. Um, you'll get the recording as well. Um, Good. Unless there's any other questions, last chance for the survey. Um, I think we definitely will do another AI one. Maybe give it a couple months for it to roll out. Maybe they'll probably roll out some more stuff at Sweet World. If you're going to Sweet World and you want to free free food and drink at our event, let us know. Go ahead and email me. And yeah, good stuff. Dean, anything else before we head out?
No, I don't. Just apologies. Like I said, I mean, I've been here a long time and I've never had my internet drop 7 times on a call. So that's just sorry. I could have been maybe better prepared, but I've just never had to. So I hope it wasn't too disruptive and I hope you're able to still get some value out of today's session, minus some of the connection issues.
No, all good. AI did it. We didn't. I mean, we kind of didn't need you. I don't know. No, I'm just kidding. Totally
Yeah,
kidding. Totally
that's
kidding.
right. That's right.
Totally kidding. Well, great guys. Well, that's it. We're gonna wrap up. Appreciate it. If you guys have any other questions, feel free to reach out to Dean or I. Next Week Made Easy group, we put it in the chat. And yeah, have a great weekend. We'll see you guys next month. God
Thanks,
bless.
everybody. Take care.
Bye,
Have a
guys.
good weekend. Bye.